Nicola Sturgeon survives the Scottish inquiry, the SNP prepare for the second Scottish referendum, and we answer the questions we received from the members of this channel. Well, it's all kicking off in Scotland today. We received the update on this inquiry into Nicola Sturgeon breaking the ministerial code. And on the other hand, the SNP have launched their draft publication to prepare for a Scottish referendum. But again, not that they only had one recently a few years ago, once in a lifetime vote. They're preparing for that and the reaction to this news. Before we start talking about this chaos in Scotland today, don't forget to use your special discount code THANKYOU15 to get 15% off of all our merchandise. I believe in Britain, We Are the Media, and all the others. This is as a thank you to you guys for supporting us in this channel all these months and years and decades. So make sure to check out the link in the description after the program. Let's go to Scotland because this independent inquiry found that Nicola Sturgeon has not broken the ministerial code during this Alex Salmond inquiry. It is interesting because the Scottish Conservatives, on the one hand, have been preparing to table a motion of no confidence this week, I believe Wednesday. I'm not sure if they are still going to go ahead or if they're just going to accept this result, because the reaction we had today to this has been a bit mixed, because James Hamilton is the guy who was in charge of this inquiry and this independent inquiry. But on Wikipedia, there have been attempts to edit his information because James Hamilton is a former advisor to the SNP government. James Hamilton is also the former member of the SNP. And not that it matters. I mean, people have a past, of course. But, it's interesting that, the one person that they could find to hold this inquiry was an SNP member. But there's this mixed reaction from the commentators and politicos in Scotland as well. They don't trust what's been happening. The establishment in Scotland are trying their best to save Nicola Sturgeon. At this point, Queen Nicola is unbeatable. She's not going anywhere. And it's fascinating how now they're preparing for this Scottish independence. But going back to James Hamilton himself, he said that he does not believe that the 2nd of April Sturgeon Salmond meeting was a party matter, because the First Minister claimed that members of political parties do not normally attend party meetings accompanied by their lawyers. And when the chairman of the SNP, Nicola Sturgeon's husband, arrived at their house, he did not join the meeting. What? Is this the basis of James Hamilton's decision? I have absolutely no idea. Can you guys take it seriously? Nicola Sturgeon said this, that, it can't be a party meeting. There was a lawyer there. Well, if there's a lawyer, then it can't be a meeting. Like, if an Amazon board or like CEOs in Amazon or Apple or any other corporation, any other organization, NHS, let's just say, have a meeting, as long as there's no lawyer involved, that's a meeting. If there's a lawyer present, then, oh no, guys, that's not a meeting anymore. That's it. You just cancel the meeting. Considering that's her excuse. And her husband, who also arrived at the house, how's that relevant? Why does the chairman have to be involved? Let's just say he wasn't even part of the meeting. The party leader is still there. So I have no idea why James Hamilton decided, well, that makes sense. Yeah, well, Nicola Sturgeon said that's not a meeting. And she doesn't remember the rest of it. So let's just believe what Nicola Sturgeon says. The reactions have been interesting. Dan Hodges said, what's happened here? Tom Harris, who is a former Scottish MP in Glasgow, said, welcome to Scotland. The reactions have been quite fascinating because a lot of people who are familiar with Scottish politics, they know what's been going on. And they know this cover-up will continue to happen. And we know the problem is devolution. Now, on that note, we have this update. Yes, independence referendum 2.0 is coming. Is it? I don't know. The SNP are preparing for this. Not sure if Boris Johnson's government are going to allow it, but it's fascinating how they're not wasting any time. They've prepared the draft bill on the same day when James Hamilton announced his results of this independent inquiry. So, yeah, Nicola Sturgeon is preparing for another referendum because, that's how once-in-a-lifetime vote works. Yeah, it's every 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah, so we're going to talk about this over the next few days and weeks on this channel because this is not going anywhere. just like Nicola Sturgeon, we're not going to give up. We're going to have to tell the truth regardless of Sturgeon resigning or not. Now, let's go to the questions we received from the members. Let's start with this one because it's relevant to the topic. David says, is there nothing to make Nicola Sturgeon go? At this point, probably not. There's not much that you can do. She's very, very resilient, let's just say. And the establishment are very much focused on protecting her and saving her, even if that means that others will be thrown under the bus. That's your answer, David. Now, Scott says, do you think that all these human rights lawyers stopping deportations should have to pay all the costs of their claims? And also, do you agree that the migrants should be held in centres, processing centres out of the UK? But I don't think the lawyers... okay, firstly, I don't think we should spend taxpayers' money on legal aid given to illegal migrants in that sense. When there's special cases, absolutely, that's just how human rights works, and that's because of that. But stop wasting taxpayers' money on this. There should be another way that lawyers can fund this. Yes, absolutely. There is this issue with the proposed plans from Priti Patel saying that we should send the illegal migrants abroad to centres. There are islands around the UK. There are also other sites that they want to use in North Africa and other places, and also the British Overseas Territory generally, for them to wait there for their application to go through. On paper, I have no problem with that. It's just that I've said it on this channel before. This is going to be so bureaucratic and the Home Office are so incompetent. It's just going to be shambolic. So keep it simple, guys. Keep it basic. And, try to not allow people to illegally enter. And if they do, just deport them straight away. Simple. And if and people who are legally trying to apply, start the process. Tim Hill, one of our great members, says, given the chaos of the devolved parliament, is now the time for the government to close them down and bring back central control and have dedicated officers in London responsible for overseeing what happens in the regions. The devolution doesn't work as a project. We know that these devolved powers have been idiotic as an idea, thanks to Tony Blair. They said they want to... Actually, they didn't do it to decentralise. People think the idea of creating the Scottish Parliament or the Welsh Assembly were to decentralise powers because, all these lefties are so into decentralising powers. No, that's not why they did it. They did it to create alternative centralised powers in Scotland, in Wales, in Northern Ireland. So the best thing to do is a lot of decisions that apply to the whole country should be centralised and the rest completely localised. Do not create another centralised body in the form of a Scottish government or parliament. So yeah, definitely we need to review these devolution powers. Tim also says, Maya, when are we going to see you back on the panel of Plank of the Week? That's Mike Graham's show on Talk Radio. I believe because of the lockdown and everything, they are only using there's a couple of regular guests because they have a pass to the building. My Talk Radio pass has been expired, so I haven't been there in ages. So I'm not sure, really. Neil says, hi, Maya. Do you think, considering all the sleaze scandals and cover-ups surrounding the SNP and Sturgeon, it would be better for her to remain at the helm and sink with her ship when it loses, rather than get thrown out before it devours itself and forever to be able to blame them English? Yeah, so this is an interesting point that Neil brings up, because I get it. Obviously, I'm not in charge of political decisions or policy, so I'm not going to advocate for anything. This is the job of political parties to decide what they want to do with Sturgeon. But on the one hand, you're right. If she stays around at this point because of her credibility going down, she's going to destroy the SNP's reputation. On the other hand, you have this dilemma. You need her to go to save Scotland. We need the SNP to go to save Scotland as soon as possible. So it's a tough choice. Baisley says, does the Queen really need a diversity supremo? Yeah, this is the news that came out from Buckingham Palace a few days ago, that the family are going woke. Yeah, the palace want to be more diverse. So they've decided to create this division to introduce more diversity. What is happening? Meghan does one interview and the whole of the establishment policy changes. Stop changing policy just because of a celebrity in Hollywood doing an interview with her best friend on national TV. No, we don't need a diversity supremo. keep the establishment family and the royal family, well, establishment. Ian Gill says, will there be collateral damage to Nicola Sturgeon and the SNP's campaign for independence referendum 2 and to join the EU from the EU vaccine shambles and subsequent attempted bullying? Yeah, this is the point about the independence referendum 2.0. While the European Union is going down with their shambolic divisions, the SNP are also divided. I'm not really sure, people in Scotland, if there were going to be a proper campaign soon for the independence referendum, then I do genuinely believe if the facts come out properly, if there's an actual debate, then the Remain side, the pro-unionist side, will definitely win. So I'm not saying take the risk. We're not going to take the risk, but because of everything that's been happening, their chances are actually quite low at this point. We've seen the opinion polls, and when facts come out during the debate, they will definitely lose all their chances. Now, let's go to the next question from Pauline, who says, do you think that Nadine Whittam should be called out after she defended what happened last night in Bristol? Yes, as you guys saw, I posted a video at 5:45 talking about what happened in Bristol. If you haven't seen it, check it out after this program. So Nadine Whittam, the Labour MP, has been defending the largely peaceful people, the Marxists. She's not the only one. We've had Zara Sultana, the other Labour MP, and a number of others, Richard Bergen. They're all defending them. So, of course, they should be called out, but these people usually get called out by establishment media. That's not going to happen. The mainstream media agree with them. You've seen how they've been reporting on these things since last year with the BLM movement. So don't expect anything to... I mean, we call them out on this channel, and there are other independent reporters, journalists like Alex Belfield and other podcasts who do this. Also, if you haven't seen my reaction to Alex Belfield's situation, it's last night's live stream at 8 p.m. I mentioned him when I talked about the BBC. He's going through some problems. I've got in touch with Alex to invite him to come on the show to talk about it. Right, Edward Harry says, okay. Brilliant question, Edward. And the last question is, hey Maya, do you think that we will see Boris go sooner rather than later? I hope so. Don't hold your breath. I've always said, do not underestimate Boris Johnson. Now, regardless of politics and your political views, left-wing, right-wing, or anything like that, you have to admire Boris Johnson's resilience, and he always bounces back. And this is what's happening now. If the lockdown, the roadmap stays as it is, no extension, if he manages to reopen the country and people eventually move on slowly, then he's going to have a massive bounce back. The next challenge for him is going to be the economic growth. So that's also, again, he has to rely on Rishi Sunak. But there is right now the big chunk of society who voted for him for the first time, voted Tory for the first time because of Boris, who have lost faith because of what's been happening. But there's a lot of other people in the country who are massively supporting him. You can see in the opinion polls. We know we don't trust opinion polls, but that's usually when the margin is tiny. But when it's huge, then that's just what it is. Boris Johnson has a chance to redeem himself. We've had a lot of mistakes from the government, especially on education with Gavin Williamson and the Home Office with Priti Patel. It's not just her fault, it's also the whole of the Home Office establishment. But Boris has a chance now, after June, unless they extend the lockdown, to make it up to us. So let's just wait, because this guy, just like Nicola Sturgeon, has got 72 million lives. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget, as I said earlier, get your I Believe in Britain merchandise, or you could also get your We Are the Media merchandise, but using a discount code THANKYOU15. You get 15% discount until the 12th of April. It's a limited time offer until pubs reopen, hopefully. If you're a member of the channel, you guys get 25% discount because you've been massively supporting us recently. The special code for that one is in the community tab on YouTube. Thanks again for watching. I'm Maya Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.